I
You know,
appreciate it.
it takes courage, but it also takes that moment where you recognize and see yourself,
Mhm.
where you look in the mirror and you look past everybody else's stuff and you see you and you're okay with you. And I think one of the biggest injustices to female identifying people is that so often they never ever get that moment. They never ever get that moment where they truly see them as them and can appreciate the beauty they have. And I love makeup. I have makeup on right now. I love clothes. I'm wearing a funky shirt with a crazy collar, and I can enjoy beauty and fashion without it taking away from me. I think that the beauty industry and the fashion industry should augment who we are, should show off our beauty and personality, not define it, not tell us what it should be, but it should, right? Majority of folks. So I always say if somebody has arrived at my table, there's a reason they're there, and it's not because everything's great.
Right.
Um, they're at a crossroads. There's a big question in their life. They are full of usually some kind of doubt about a person or a situation or some other circumstance. That's why they seek me out to begin with. I usually call my clients seekers because almost all of them are seeking something from me, and I'm happy to provide it. But on those occasions when I get people who they aren't quite ready to be there, they aren't quite sure why they're there, I usually ask them, what keeps you up at night? Because something keeps
Mm.
everybody up at night. What do you think about when you're driving? What do you think about when you're bathing or showering? Those are the things that I can, bring insight to if they want to share them. So if they will allow me into that space, if they will allow me into their, the thing in their brain that keeps them awake when they're trying to go to sleep, I can usually offer some kind of an insight or guidance that maybe they weren't seeing. I too.
Mm.
You have to create an awareness of it, and you have to really 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 learn to trust yourself, and that's so easy for me to
Mm.
say, and it's so hard for people to do. We are given a million reasons every day to doubt who we are, what we think, what we believe. We are taught to constantly question ourselves, especially something like an intuitive feeling. And the reality is that there's no reason for it. There's no reason to doubt those things. And so many of the reasons people are given to doubt themselves are really just nonsense. Doubt yourself because of how you look or what you wear or where you went to school or where you didn't go to school, or it doesn't really mean anything in the big scheme of the world. It's external information that we place value on for some reason because we're told to, and we buy into it, and then we create this whole story around it of why we should doubt things about ourselves, including our hunches and our feelings. So I got my first gray at 17. And it was a very dramatic moment. I was alone in the bathroom. I immediately grabbed tweezers and plucked it out. I thought, oh no, my life is over, which was completely overreacting. I was 17. But those powerful teenage emotions definitely caught up with me that day. But at that moment, I was immediately responding to the societal image that when women age, they lose their value. And I had bought into that stereotype at 17. And I definitely went on another journey, took another path. I did dye my hair for a while. I plucked out my grays first, and then there were just too many for that. And I started using dye. I tried highlights to hide the gray. And then one day, I guess I was in my 30s, I said, I could see the gray coming in, and I actually really like how it shimmers in the light. And I thought, that's really kind of pretty. It's almost like glitter in my hair. And I said, I'm going to let it grow out. In fact, I'm going to just let it go. And I received a lot of kickback, surprisingly, from other women. Women said, nobody will think you're professional, or nobody will think you're attractive anymore if you have this gray hair. And I said, you know what, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to still let my work speak for itself when it comes to my profession. And if people don't think I'm pretty, well, then, c'est la vie. I have to be happy with how I look. I don't have to worry about what they think. And I just embraced it. And over time, I learned to really actually love my gray hair. I really like how the light hits it. I like how it creates texture and depth in my hair naturally without having to pay someone to add highlights.